Hey, SC Montreal, how do you think the US government should release the flat earth to the world if it is true? Do you think they should apologize and maybe pay people off? Or what do you think? What would be the best way to roll it out?
They'll
Well,
never roll
assuming
it.
there's a certain shape that they're lying to us, I don't think they can do it personally. I don't think they can because they would have to admit they've been lying to us all this time, and how are they going to survive? I don't think that's an option for them.
Yeah, that's a huge hurdle that they're going to have to overcome. It might be practically impossible unless they try to pay people off as a way of apology.
Well, that's where the UFO thing comes in, right? The conspiracy where they're saying, well, look, we couldn't tell you because of these guys type thing, but I don't know how they're going to sell that. Personally, I don't, barring that, I don't see how they can survive.
Yeah, it could be propose a safety concern to the citizens, or it'll definitely affect the respect that some countries have. That's why I think there's got to be a special way. If just imagining if they were going to try to release the truth to the people, there would definitely have to be a special way about it.
They would have to admit to lying to the moon landing, to the ISS, to everything.
Yeah. One person that I met said that they should go to jail. I'm open for forgiveness personally. Immunity.
That's going to throw everything apart. I don't see how the system is going to survive.
Yeah, great point.
Can you trust the scientists? Can you trust the politicians?
Financial package, but that might not. I don't know. I think it would go a long way in apology. Yeah.
SC Montreal, I told you not to put me in the hot mic room, and then I got kicked right out of Discord.
It wasn't me. I didn't do it, Rob.
I believe you.
I don't think anybody kicked you. It happens. Me lately, what's been happening, I come on and I don't hear a sound. I gotta get off, reboot. It's crazy.
Yeah, Discord's fucked lately. I wasn't trying to blame you. I just found it ironic that I told you not to kick me, and then I got kicked.
Yeah. Which video was that?
Oh, you wouldn't like it. It has to do with Jesus.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
I see you're not a big fan of Jesus, if you don't mind me asking. No pressure. I think the wisdom of Jesus is incredible.
I got nothing whatsoever against Jesus.
Oh, awesome.
Nothing at all.
Amazing. There's not too many men that I can think of that had the wisdom of Jesus. Right. For instance, there was the time where they wanted to test Jesus, because a lot of the Hebrews at the time, they had the Mosaic law, the 10 Commandments, and for people who broke the law, they would stone them to death. And I love the wisdom of Jesus. He shows how we could use the law properly. When they tested Jesus, they brought a woman who was caught in adultery, and the wisdom of Jesus and the Creator was so simple. He stopped everything with one simple sentence. He goes, "He without sin cast the first stone." Right, and practically everyone is sin, so no one could throw the stone at her. Otherwise, they would be a hypocrite. And that's just one example of the wisdom of Jesus. And then we have the healing powers of Jesus, where he's healed so many people.
Not too bad Jeremy's not here. He can read a verse for us. He's going to crack a joke.
Oh, nice. Have you guys seen the video where a man, he suffered some sort of heart attack or something along that line, and he ended up in the hospital. He was, despite all the efforts of the doctor, he was pronounced dead. And then his son, I think this was after 40 minutes of trying, his son prayed in the name of Jesus over his dad, and he came back to life. There's a video of this online. And interestingly enough, that guy, he was dead for 40 minutes. When I was at the local hospital here and I was chatting with someone, he said he was actually dead for 42 minutes. He was sharing me his experience. He said he had the paperwork. He was saying that they all celebrated when he came back to life. pretty interesting stuff. There's the medical phenomenon called the Lazarus effect, which is similar to the Bible. Someone died and Jesus brought them back in order to show the glory and the power of God, which is pretty amazing.
Well, you have a lot of fellow Christians here, fellow believers.
Awesome. Well, you're invited to SC Montreal. I'm sure you've gotten the message, but I just want you to know you're invited to heaven. Would you go?
That's mighty kind of you, bro. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Would you want to go if it was way better than what we can imagine right now? No pressure. You don't have to answer. Some people that I meet, they say no, they don't want to go. Some people are like, oh yeah, if it's better than I know, then yeah, count me in.
Well, that's an easy answer, right? Now you have to believe in an afterlife. And, yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want to be in a better place where they're at now? I mean, that's easy, right?
Definitely.
Okay, let me ask you a question then.
Okay.
Would you rather go to heaven, the heaven you think you have in your mind, or would you rather have 72 virgins, a house, and streams of honey, milk? What would you rather have? Which place would you rather go to?
You know what? Probably when I was much younger, I probably would have chosen the latter. But I think now I'd probably just choose the heaven. One woman's too much for me.
God,
sometimes.
My wife is doing the dishes and she didn't hear that part.
That's good. Yeah, I think that's the Muslim take on heaven, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Are those 72 virgins? Are those human souls, or those are like just angel sex dolls?
I think the latter. I'm not sure though.
I mean, the math wouldn't work out if it isn't the latter. So, yeah.
But hey, what a recruiting tool, right? For the jihad. No, yeah. I mean, whoever thought of that, man, was a freaking genius.
Yeah.
What do you get in the U.S. Army? Well, you get rations and, you die. What do you get if you're a jihadist? Well, you get 72 virgins, rivers of honey and milk and water. Which army do you join?
The one you're not going to die fighting in.
Regardless, the correct answer is don't join. Yeah, either one.
Yeah. The great story of Desmond Dawes. He was able. Well, he joined, but he chose not to choose to carry a weapon. Have you guys seen the movie Hacksaw Ridge? This is a true story where
he carried a ton of guys out, like on his back, right?
Yeah, exactly. Without a weapon, he saved 70. Some people estimate it was 77 to 70 people. He basically went into the most dangerous battlefield of the war at the time. He was facing rockets, bullets, knives, flames. And yeah, he was a Seventh-day Adventist. And he made a promise to God when he was young because he nearly killed his brother. He hit his brother in the head with a rock while they were fighting. And then he made a promise to God, if you save my brother, I'll never pick up a weapon again. And then his prayer was answered, and I believe God was going to use him to spread the message. So yeah, so eventually he joined World War II as a medic. And when he was in training, his team, because of lies, they turned on him. They thought he wouldn't protect them or be brave enough to protect them because he wouldn't carry a weapon. So they beat him up. They insulted him. They tried to get him kicked out. But because he was so good at, being a soldier and strong, I guess that and God wanted him to remain. Because there is a law, you can't kick anyone out of the army if they're a conscientious objector. So yeah, he was allowed to pass, and then he was put into one of the most dangerous areas of the war at the time, Hacksaw Ridge. And at the end of the movie, they actually had some of the people sharing their testimony. Some of them were crying. They were like, "He was the bravest man I ever knew."
Some really great pro-war propaganda.
As he.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
What if these 72 virgins are metaphysical virgins? The power to create between the male and the feminine.
If that's the case, why stop at 72? Like, it's a very specific number.
Yeah.
Hold on, is he talking about transgender?
No, man. Metaphysical. For God's sake.
Transgender, metaphysical.
Transgender. They create this in the physical, so it's metaphysical, man.
I'm just pulling your leg, you know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have to be metaphysical, no?
Exactly.
Yeah, in
Well,
both cases, in both the Muslim and the Christian. Yeah.
although I hold the ground that you can't say exactly in metaphysical, but still.
In reality, nobody knows. It's just, a belief. In my opinion. I don't want to offend anybody, in my opinion.
Yeah. Thinking of the 72 virgins, I've been asked this before: Is there sex in heaven? And I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe people don't want to have sex in heaven. Maybe they want to do something else.
Then would you still be you? Like, oh, you're not really you anymore.
No.
Well, great question. And here's my this would be my response. I believe heaven is just like our home. We have the same rules. We have rules to allow people in, like the Ten Commandments. Am I going to allow someone that doesn't believe I exist, who's going to blaspheme my name, steal from me, murder me? Would I let them into my home if I had children? No, I wouldn't personally. And I think that heaven is the same. So the reason why, let's say if someone chooses to follow the rules, then yeah, they wouldn't want to partake in those things anymore. They wouldn't even want to think about them.
Yeah, bro. Bro, it's like
Your wife is right there with you. So what's up with that?
Yo,
Yeah.
it's like you got a coach.
I think that heaven is the same. So the reason why, let's say if someone chooses to follow the rules, then yeah, they wouldn't want to partake in those things anymore. They wouldn't even want to think about them. They would probably
Yeah, bro.
just,
Bro, it's like
But your wife is right there with you. So what's up with that?
Yo,
Yeah.
it's like you got a coach, right? And he's gonna choose his players, bro. Sometimes you just don't make the team, dude. You get cut, you don't make the team, bro. You try out, you fail, you don't make the team, dude. That's what heaven is.
Straight to hell. Straight to hell for you.
There's just standards, bro. Y'all got standards. And they're pretty strict standards too. They're pretty high. He wants the cream of the crop.
yeah, because the rules act as protection for those inside, right? Just like we have rules. I debate this with people. I say I take the side that rules act as fun and protection for the individual and freedom ultimately. For instance, the Ten Commandments keeps you free from someone stealing from you, from wanting to harm, etc. So they're essentially your protection, your freedom.
But not the thing is,
What
like,
if-
what if people don't want to go to heaven? Like, they really just don't want to go to heaven. They want to be extinguished. They have no desire to go to heaven. Don't you think they should have that right to deny access? No, they don't want to go, bro. They don't want to be part of the goody two shoes like Biggie Smalls. Who wants to be part of the goody two shoes, right? Well, if you don't want to be part of the goody two shoes, Yah is so righteous and right and just that he gave you the decision to deny him if you wanted to. And then people complain because he's like that.
Yeah, maybe they just don't understand, or they're they're taking it for granted, in a sense. Maybe because lack of understanding. But yeah, what a generous creator not to force us in. Like there will be people who don't want. I actually interact with them a lot. Some of them are angry. I don't know if it's just their bravado, but they're angry. They said they would attack God. Some people don't want to go, but they think it would be boring. So yeah, free will. What a generous creator to allow us to choose.
What monad? Moneda means in Spanish.
No.
Money.
Oh, money. Okay.
Monad. But you said nomad, but then you said monad. What's monad? It sounds familiar, but I don't know what it is.
Monad is like, in philosophy, it's like, first of all, it's represented by a circle and a dot in the middle. That's how the ancients represented it. So it represents like uh, the first thing. It also represents like a god, like the first mover. So it's kind of freaked out, bro, because there's the words begot in it. So the first thing, the monad, begot the second thing, and then it goes on, and then it starts with geometry. Then there's the dot, the line, the shape, and one begets the other one. It's like it's kind of like a Genesis kind of a story.
Well, yeah, what a generous creator not to force us in. Like, there will be people who don't want. I actually interact with them a lot. Some of them are.
Yo, Lion, were you here before when I brought up the Nomad?
No, I just got in here. I left.
I said it backwards. Sorry, the monad. Monad.
MONAD. It's funny because you know what monad or moneda means in Spanish?
No.
Money.
Oh, money. Okay.
Monad. But you said nomad, but then you said monad. What's monad? It sounds familiar, but I don't. It is.
Monad is like in philosophy. It's like, first of all, it's represented by a circle and a dot in the middle. That's how the ancients represented it. So it represents like uh, the first thing. It also represents like a god, like the first mover. So it's kind of freaked out, bro, because there's the words begot in it. So the first thing, the monad, begot the second thing, and then it goes on, and then it starts with geometry. Then there's the dot, the line, the shape, and one begets the other one. It's like it's kind of like a Genesis kind of a story. You never heard of the monad?
I've heard of it, but I'm not familiar with it. It sounds familiar, but I haven't researched it. I haven't gave it any mind.
All right, I thought you would know about it. Oh, it's all good, bro. If you want to have a look at it, it's
Sure, yeah. I'm interested. Sounds interesting. But you're saying so like when you talk about geometry, you're talking about like the ontology of wisdom or something? Like what came first? Are you saying like like lines came first? Like what do you mean?
yeah. Well, it starts off metaphysically, right? The monad. It's like it's like a metaphysical conception to the ancient philosophers. I'll post something. I think I saved it. Hold on a second.
I mean, when you get into the earlier, I posted some stuff on Hermetic doctrine, and it goes back to the mystery schools in Babylon, right? With like the sacred geometry, the hexagram, the pentagram, all these weird, the Platonic solids, and even Euclidean geometry. Like that goes back to ancient Babylon, bro. With Pythagoras, and even before him, they had this conception of sacred geometry for the Fibonacci sequence, the golden ratio.
Yeah, it kind of ties into all that stuff. Yeah, numbers. It goes to numbers. Yeah. It's quite intriguing, bro. Let me see if I can find something for you and post it.
Sacred geometry.
Check it out, man.
Text 1. I see it. I'll check it out later.
Yeah, the monad is the thing in the middle, and if you read it, it's like it's freaked out.
Is that that infinitesimal point of density that they talk about with the singularity at the beginning of time at the Big Bang?
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I guess that's kind of the idea. This represents the first thing.
Yeah, it's also called the 0 point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there's many names for it. Yeah. But this is the ancient philosophical expression of it.
And
you know, the more
and around it and around it and around it is a field. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because like the more you study philosophy and like ancient stuff, you'll realize that like science likes to borrow from their worldview. So like I think Einstein like read the Kabbalah, the Zohar. He was, he probably understood Jewish mysticism. I mean, he was a Jew. And even like a lot of the, the Jesuit priests, like Galileo and Newton and all these guys, even though Newton wasn't Catholic, but you got what I'm saying, right? It's almost like they adopt things from philosophy and they apply it to science. Like even like who came up with the idea of what's it called? Like when it comes to quantum mechanics or superposition, like if you go read the Zohar, there's all types of parallels, bro. Even with like the Big Bang.
Yeah, this blew my mind a couple of years ago when I found out about this. I go, whoa, man. And it just reminded me the other day, just today we're talking about something. I forgot what it was. Oh, the monoliths. We're talking about the monoliths. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy though. I was this is what they used to say back like 15 years ago. In the Big Bang, right? There was like this point of infinite density. It's literally infinite density and also infinitely small. Infinitesimal is the word that they use. And basically there was a rip in the fabric of space and time, dude. Like a hole. There was a rip. And when that rip occurred, they theorize that what happened was that in another dimension, there was a supernova, a supermassive sun imploded and caused a supernova because it was so large and had so much mass that it caused basically time itself to get ripped. The fabric of space and time to get ripped. They call it the singularity, bro. And when that happened, it caused light. Light was the first thing to enter our realm, and it expanded from the size of a pin of a needle to almost the size of the universe today, bro. And within an instant, it expanded to almost the size as it is right now.
I think it was the word was the first thing, bro. Logos,
no, I know. I don't believe this. I'm just telling you what the singularity is, the Big Bang theory, bro.
I'm saying in the religious context, right? Didn't God speak the universe into existence or whatever?
Yes. Yeah, he spoke everything into existence.
So the first thing was sound then?
No. Think about it. I talked about this before, right? Before you can get sound, what do you need? Think about ontologically, what do you need before sound, right? Because sound is contingent.
The medium and the person, but I was assuming God, but I guess you mean a medium? God spoke a medium? Is that what you're saying? Into existence?
You're getting there. So yes, you need a medium, correct. So for sound to perturbate, right, to vibrate, you need a medium. So there had to have been a medium before sound. So there's already something that comes before sound. But so before sound, you have a medium. That's one antecedent for sound. What else do you have? What else do you need?
Well, the sound maker, obviously.
The sound maker, correct. But be more specific, though. It's good. It's just a thought experiment, right? We're critically thinking. We're critically thinking. What do you need? Vocal cords. That's good. You're getting there. And how do the vocal cords work?
Oh, I got you. You're going to vibration.
Right, but what causes the vocal cords to vibrate? To make sound? What do you need?
Movement.
You need spirit. You need spirit. You need a force, right?
Yeah.
You need spirit. A ruach.
Spirit, wind.
Yeah.
Well,
right. Wind.
Yeah. Wind. Yeah.
Wind. Right. So wind, or the ruach, is antecedent to the sound, right? And so the ruach, and this is a fractal in our bodies. This is a fractal pattern of the beginning, right? So our bodies, where we have a vocal cord, right? We have to exert air force, and the air passes through those vocal cords to cause sound. So before sound came, you need air, you need wind, which is synonymous for ruach or spirit, pneumatic, right? Pneuma. You need pneuma. So before sound, you need pneuma. And then what becomes before that?
Yeah.
And then what comes before that?
Before the medium?
Before pneuma. Before ruach.
Well, you need the pneuma E, the one that makes the pneuma.
Right, right. And what does that consist of? You already said medium. We got medium. We got spirit, i.e., wind, ruach. And what comes before all that? What do you need? What do you need for the air to move past the vocal cords? What do you need to do that? What do you need?
Well, you need pressure from the lungs.
You're getting there, but no, yeah. So that's included in the force, right? That's part of the force, pressure, force, same thing. But you need intention. You need intelligence. You need a mind. So the mind.
Where does the body come in? You need. Are you saying
that's the Well, hold on. That's part of the medium.
Well, hold on. You hold on a second, bro, because you're trying to make the creator out to be what? Two things. Is he either spirit or form? Which is it?
Well, hold on, dude. When you say body, that's included in the medium, dude, right? But I'm trying to get you to understand the ontological contingency here, right? Because there are things that are contingent on one another, and there's antecedents, right? So before you can get the air to move, to make sound, you need a mind. You need wisdom. So wisdom predates all of that. You need consciousness, intelligence, intent.
Yeah, didn't I say creator, bro? Doesn't that encompass all of it?
But yes, but I want you to be more specific. That's all.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, okay.
Because when you say the creator, it's kind of vague, because the creator consists of mind, i.e. consciousness, i.e. wisdom, and he also consists of a medium. He has a substance, and he also consists of a spirit, and he can produce sound. You have to kind of roll back the clock a little bit, see what comes first, ontologically, and wisdom and intent.
Those are all assumptions. Well, how do you know?
It's not, bro. It's a necessary. That's Torah talks about it consistently in here all the time, bro. There's a necessary antecedent for all intelligibility, right? For all of reality.
Of course,
you need it. All right, so.
But how do you know this being has a mind, spirit? You don't know that. You're assuming
I do know that.
You have that, right?
I know, but I don't need empiricism to know that. There's reason and logic and rationale.
At that point, we can't be certain, right? Like, that's all I'm saying. For me, anyways.
I'm certain. I'm certain. I have no doubt in my mind, bro, at all. I don't need an experiment in a lab to be certain of knowledge. Unlike some of these materialists.
But you see, we part ways here, because I believe in a creator, right? But I say it's a belief. I know I can't prove it. There's no way for me to prove it. The only thing I could say is it's an antecedent, right? Like, in order for there to be a creation, like me or you or something, something had to create it, right? So I can show an antecedent relationship in that manner, but to say that I know what it is, I won't do that. No chance. I can't. But you think that you can because you have a Torah, you have a book called the Torah. And somehow
Yeah.
you think that, yeah, which I can respect that, but you know.
But the thing is, there's fractals in all of nature, and we are a fractal of the macro. We are a micro of the macro, and the Torah tells us that we were made in His image. And if you look at reality, right, His invisible qualities are made manifest, are evident. If you just sit still, bro, and know that He is Yah, right? So like the way I just broke down how we speak, that's a fractal.
Can
No,
I add my
again,
piece?
for me, when I hear the word "Yah," I think of. I don't think it's my religion. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't sound right. It's alien to me. That word is alien to me.
I respect it. It's fine, bro. It's
It
all good,
sounds
bro.
like from another culture.
Take
Yeah.
your time, dude. You know, it might take you a lifetime to come to the realization.
Never gonna happen, bro. Never gonna.
Don't say never. Never say never.
Never gonna happen. I'm never gonna believe in that, bro. And that, to me, we've said this many times, right? It's a book, and that, to me, we've said this many times, right? It's a book for a certain people called the Jewish race. They have their
No, it's
view.
not.
They have their book. Respect, but that's not my belief.
Okay, can I get my piece in now?
Yeah.
All I wanted to say to both of you guys, this is not for one or the other, but the way that I look at it is, I know there's a creator, and this creator wants us to know him. And how else can he do that but by moving through certain people to write down things about himself? And you do have to have a level of trust in the words of some men that they were moved by the Spirit of God, and they had to write it down. So whether you want to believe what they wrote down as being from the Creator is on you. Thank
I
you,
hear
gentlemen.
that, Rob, but there's many, many men that wrote many, many books about creation, about gods. So, you know, I mean, that's just the facts. Now, a Muslim or any other one of those could come and tell you the same thing. Look, our book is the law, and you choose to believe it or not, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
I agree. Yes.
I think.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Just quickly, and I was just going to say I would use the word presume instead of assume, because we've got the book, but we also have this realm and a logical order for things to take place. So I would use presume instead of assume. But I did. It's okay. I was going to share something else, but go ahead, you guys. I'll jump back in shortly.
No, I just wanted to talk about because earlier we were talking about like going to heaven and all that. You know, Biggie Smalls made a song called "Suicidal Thoughts," and in it he says, "When I die, F it. I want to go to hell because I'm a piece of shit. It's hard to effing tell." What are you talking about, man? I don't make. He says, it don't make sense going to heaven with the goodies dressed in white. I like black Tims and black hoodies. Oh man, dressed in white. I like black Tims and black hoodies. Oh man, I'm just reading the lyrics. God will probably have me on some real strict shit. No sleeping and I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, so people don't want to go, bro. They just don't want to go, dude. They don't have to go. You know?
Now that sounds like a somebody against white, like a white man, like a black dude in the States against a white man. That's what that sounds like to me.
I don't know the lyrics by heart. I don't listen to this, but
Like an anti-slavery kind of a thing, not an anti-God thing. I don't know, man. Maybe I heard it wrong.
now he's talking about because the saints are depicted in all white, and even the Bible, the scriptures talk about the saints being dressed in all white, linen.
Yeah, I have a theory on the white light. So light, I believe, comes in like a trinity. We've got light as in weight, light in lumens, like brightness, and light as in emotion. So what happens, I think the mechanism behind hauntings is, let's say, a soul who's attached to physical items that have weight. They're stuck here, especially without the help of Jesus. And maybe their emotions are so heavy, they can't physically go to heaven, especially without Jesus. So there's something interesting about the bright white light of heaven, or the sun.
What are you talking about? The heaviness? Can you explain that a little bit?
Sure. Yeah. So we have three, the trinity of light. So light and weight. So we have heavy light, and then we have light and lumens. So bright and darkness, and then light and emotions. Someone who's very angry versus someone who's laughing. So I think anything heavy, they can't physically make it to heaven, especially without Jesus. So that might be the mechanism between the hauntings. I'm not sure if anyone's looked into hauntings or demonic possessions and stuff like that. But that's just my take on it. Why some of the souls are here. You can't physically get to the light of heaven, especially without Jesus. Just a thought.
Well, yeah, it's interesting. I mean, the the Egyptians had the scales, right? And you had to be lighter than a feather. And if you weren't lighter than a feather, then you would sink into the halls of Amenti.
Yeah.
Or whatever Sheol, they believe Sheol was called. But they also believed in another world, dude. It's like all those, Mesopotamian religions all believed in another world, dude. And an upper world. There's a ton of scriptures that talk about the scales of justice, the scales of liberty. I don't know them by heart, but yeah, I don't really know how that applies, honestly. I know there seems to be some type of judgment done on Judgment Day, and there are people that legitimately never heard of Jesus, they really never knew of him, never heard the gospel. They lived in a Polynesian island, never got a chance. And I think that the Creator, he weighs that, he considers that he's not. You got to understand that he's just in his judgment. And if you legitimately never heard the gospel ever in your entire life, never, he's not going to judge you the same way as somebody who has the Bible, who's literate, who's heard the gospel but simply denied it.
Absolutely, and Jesus.
Hold on. And those people are going to be judged a little bit differently. They're going to be judged on scales. But I don't know. That's not. Don't quote me on that. It's not gospel. But that's my speculation.
No, absolutely. To go the other way. Now let's look at the people here. This is my example when people talk about the no true Scotsman fallacy. So the thing about the fallacious reasoning behind no true Christian is because no one is born Christian. It's a choice, right? One is born Scottish. But so here's the two scenarios. Someone learns wrong information. Let's say someone is studying, like a neuroscientist. He's studying, but someone gave him the completely wrong information. When it comes time to get tested, will he pass with flying colors? Probably not. So now let's look at the other scenario. Someone gets the complete right information. They learn it all, they memorize it, but now they don't want to follow it. So if, for instance, if someone with a driver's license, they no longer want to follow the rules, their license is going to be taken away from them. Same with a doctor. So yeah, Jesus talked about the people who knew, such as the priests, they were given the information, but they misapplied it. So they're going to be judged at a different standard. So I think what you are talking about is biblically founded.
It's a catch-22. There's multiple scriptures that say the more that you know, right? To whom much is given regarding them, and knowledge. To whom much is given, much is expected. So the more that you learn, the more that you know, the more truth is revealed to you. He's going to hold you to a higher standard, and you're going to be accountable to a higher standard. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if you look at this from an outsider's point of view, right, and don't take any disrespect of this. This is like a classical fear tactic in a cult. I'm not saying you're in a cult, right? But this is a classical fear. Like, if you don't do this, this will happen to you, right?
Yeah, but it's also reality, and we live in a world that's dark, bro, grim. There's animals eating animals, people starving, impoverished. And if your mother warns you, don't do this because you're going to get burned. You know, look both ways before you cross the street. You're going to get hit by a car. You're saying that wisdom is some sort of psychological manipulation, some type of occult tactic, when really it's just a warning, bro. It's to heed the warning, and you're acting like it's some sort of occult tactic.
I agree with you, Ezzy. I think personally that judgment is getting insight into your functioning, in your mission, what kind of mission you came here and what you did. I don't think any living being can comprehend what that judgment is.
So, if you understand law, all right, go ahead. I thought you were done.
Any fear around that is just your fear, not anyone else's fear.
Well, fear is a great tool. Fear is a tool. It helps people make the right choices. So yeah, fearing God should be something that people would consider. It's like fearing disrespecting your parent, you know?
Right,
fearing how they would feel.
Yeah, but
so hold on. All right, go ahead.
Essential is that it's your own fear. So any fear that any other one puts on you might not be the right fear, right?
Well, the thing is, bro, like, we've been conditioned to think that, you know, fear is evil, or that a righteous judgment is evil, right? Or retribution is evil. Restitution is evil, when it's just. It's just. And people have adopted this wishy-washy doctrine where, like, God is pure love, like he's some hippie. Oh, peace and love, everybody love. Everybody hold hands and be in frolic and fornicate. Oh, it's all love. That is of the devil. That is doctrines of demons.
You sound pretty demonic when you do that. That's like right out of a movie, dude.
No, I know. I say it like that with emphasis and because people have in America, you got rainbow flags hanging on church balconies, right? Because they've adopted a wishy-washy doctrine where now everything goes. Jesus is a hippie, and they can all frolic and go, go to Woodstock and have fun. And that's not how it is, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's the farthest from the truth.
Not how what
I wanted
is.
to add. Yeah.
It's not what your cult does?
Hang on.
No. The thing is, there's righteousness, and then there's
a problem
wickedness.
with people being loving. There's a problem with people being loving and holding hands. Now you're disparaging and insulting that?
Well, no, because what they've done is they've turned bitter into sweet, and sweet into bitter, good into evil, and evil into good, and everything's inverted. So, like,
who did that? Who did that? The hippies were rebelling against the Vietnam War.
I use the hippies as a quick example, but it doesn't. We don't have to focus on the hippies. It's secular humanists. They've developed their own moral based off of human wisdom. They've inverted. So, like, when you see lesbians holding hands and adopting a baby, you got all the people. Oh, how cute! The lesbians are adopting children, right? Meanwhile, that child now has to face, growing up with two mothers. I mean, two mothers. And that's considered righteous. That's considered good, according to secular humanists.
If that child becomes ultimately a loving child, what's wrong with that?
That's not the point. It's not the point. What I'm trying to say is that there's objective morality. There's objective morality, and people think that righteous judgment is tyrannical, right, or satanic. Like Gio, he thinks it's satanic.
Do you think Lion?
Wait, well, hold on. Don't say anything. I didn't say. Wait, hold on. If you're gonna say something about me, what did I say? I never said the word satanic. I said. So what are you
Demonic.
saying? I'm saying.
I don't know. You said something about satanic or demonic. Righteous judgment. You might consider righteous judgment demonic when it's actually righteous.
All right. Well, I never said that, so I don't know what that is referring to. What does righteous judgment mean?
Like if you're a judge and you make a judgment, right, on a person, and you consider them wicked or evil for their acts, for their actions. Some other people might consider their actions perfectly okay. Secular humanists might consider abortion perfectly right? Pro a woman's rights. You know what I'm saying? That's just one crude example.
All right, but I didn't say anything about righteous. I was asking what you meant by righteous judgment, but I didn't say anything about that being demonic, so I'm not sure where you got that from.
I'm sorry, guys. It was the objective morality that I wanted to address. Where does objective morality come from?
Oh, dude, you already know the answer to that.
Yeah, the creator.
Yeah, but I was just giving you a quick examples, from the top of my head. Just I brought up the hippies, I brought up abortion, I brought women's rights, right? These are things that, a hippie dude might consider righteous for a woman to choose, right? To abort her baby. But he doesn't know better, right? So he's inverted. Now he makes something wicked right.
Just out of curiosity, not that I'm taking a sense on this, but would you think it's better, Lion, for a kid to grow up in foster care or to grow up with like 2 lesbian mothers?
In foster care.
You took the words right out of my mouth. You're wrong, bro. You're wrong, Lion. I was going to say the exact same thing as him, bro.
Yeah. I know this. This is what I'm saying. This is a perfect example of what I'm saying, dude.
Why would you think foster care would be better?
You know why you're wrong?
You guys are making Lion's point for him.
Hold on. Let me just get this out. I think you're wrong, Lion, because you're putting the welfare of the child, which undoubtedly is going to be loved more by 2 lesbians than being knocked around in foster care homes from the stories I heard.
Are you saying there are no good foster care homes?
I disagree with you.
FC Montreal, are you saying there are no good foster care homes?
I'm not saying that. I'm just, see what I said? If we're to believe the stories of how foster cares are, which they abuse the children and pass them on. I did specify that.
Great foster.
Yeah, maybe we should put it on an equal footing. We could take the ideal foster home, which is a loving mother and father, and then a loving lesbian home where 2 females would be loving.
I'll go with option A all the time, mom and pop, all the time.
I from my personal experience,
thank you for making Lion's point, SC Montreal. Thank you.
It's all good, man.
I didn't make his point.
wanted to go on
no.
I wanted to go on a different path, but I mean, you guys want to talk about foster care? That's fine.
I just got to say, from my personal experience of people I know, I don't think it makes any difference, if I'm honest. I know, I've got friends who are raised by same-sex couples. I've got friends who are raised by single parents. I've got friends who are raised in, conventional. Friends who are raised in, conventional male-female, relationships, both married and unmarried, and it's an absolute smorgasbord of fate, which doesn't really tie up to anything going on. And you can't, as far as I'm aware, some children have a great time, some kids have a bad time,
that's when you go to statistics, Paza. That's when you would have to get into statistics.
What statistics say then?
Oh, you'd be surprised, dude.
I haven't made those studies. But yeah,
apparently, statistically, children are better off with single father households than single mother households. And
what sense?
and I don't know, dude. And I don't like appealing to statistics, and they can get easily swayed, right, and manipulated. But I'm just saying, like, statistically, it shows that children are better off with dads and moms, and in most cases, it's a negligible difference between a mother and a father, and just a father.
Yeah, I think it's definitely.
I think it depends. Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. I'll just say real quick. I think it's definitely better to grow up in a household with a mother. No doubt about that. But like for me, just like from an empathetic perspective, like would I rather a young child, right, an innocent kid, grow up like being tossed around in a foster care, like, you know, essentially dismissed, oftentimes abused and picked on and all of this stuff, or a loving like lesbian mothers where they like, you know, went out of their way to adopt a kid? I would definitely choose the latter.
And there are
all the
enough,
way, bro.
and there are enough examples of families that have, for instance, 5 kids that 4 are turning out all right and 1 is struggling constant with himself or herself.
There's also when my 2 sons were growing up, they used to go to a Tenpin bowling club, and in the city where I live, and it was in a pretty rough area of the city. And one of the instructors, a lady, a saint on earth, she had her own family with her husband, and she had 4 kids, but she was about 65, 60, 60-ish when I met her, yeah. And she helped teach my kids to bowl. And her husband and her had fostered 300 odd children throughout their married life. And she said to me that pretty much all of them came out of dysfunctional conventional family structures. So, you know.
All right, is this the topic now, foster care, or
whatever you guys want? I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just going with the flow.
Well, it's just sometimes the combos were a little bit like a Labrador Retriever, and you throw the tennis ball, and the lab goes running for it. Like if somebody throws one tennis ball of an idea, like the whole room, it's not a bad thing. It's just everybody can jump on it, and all of a sudden now we're all building on this. I'm just wondering, was this what we wanted? I'm not trying to distract from your point, Paz. I just
Honestly,
wondered.
I was hoping to ask you a personal question, Gio. If you can hear me.
I can hear you, but I didn't want to. I don't know. If someone had a response to Paz, I didn't want to. But go ahead.
No, it's just I brought it up twice today already, but I don't think you were here. You're familiar with Russell Brand, right?
Oh yeah, I know who he is. Yeah.
Yeah, he had an interview today with Wesley Huff, and I don't know how you are on the spiritual side of things, like because he used to do a lot of those crazy drugs and in and out of like consciousness drugs, and he had a great interview with Wes.
Dude, Russell Brand was a dope head for a while. Admittedly, a heroin addict.
Yeah.
And a womanizer.
Yeah, and he gets into all of that with Wesley Huff in this interview. It was an amazing interview, better than the Rogan interview with Huff.
I mean, from my personal experience, I as an Englishman, I've got lots of experience of Russell Brand before he was internationally famous, and I think he's a shameless huckster. He attaches himself to where every opportunistic perspective he thinks is going to get him somewhere.
I mean, the first time I ever heard of that guy was in that movie "Get Him to the Greek," which was hilarious, by the way. But
yeah,
I never even heard of him before that.
What's the other one with Sarah Marshall? What's that called? Remember that one? Was something Sarah Marshall?
Finding Sarah Marshall. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that was
Russell Brand got the most gorgeous man in the world award. He was on some magazine at one point. But dude, Russell Brand, I don't know, I like him, dude. He's mad funny. I don't know.
Oh, he's witty, but he's also shitty.
Yo, when you guys are done with this, I got something dope.
What's up?
No, bring it up. I was just filling space with the Russell Brand stuff. I just wanted to get Gio's take on it because he was into a lot of the psychedelic stuff, and I thought Gio might have an opinion.
I don't really want to. Yeah, I don't want to get into a big debate, but I would love to hear what you got to say, dude.
Well, I haven't seen the interview. You're asking me? I haven't seen it.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, I would just strongly recommend maybe even just watch the first half an hour. Even the last half an hour is actually really good. Yeah, if you got an hour to spend, Gio, it's worth the watch.
Yeah, right on. Well, Lion, were you saying you wanted to hear my thoughts on it? Because I guess I haven't seen it. So
I know SE was asking me questions about what's it called, monadism, and then we moved on to we were talking about
somebody threw how did you call it?
No, SE was asking me questions about what's it called, monadism, and then we moved on to we were talking about the Big Bang, and then I don't know how we got here, bro. But then yeah, I don't know what's the topic. Jeremy was about to bring up a topic.
Somebody threw how did you call it, Gio? A ball. That was a good analogy there. That's what happened.
Sorry, I think that was my fault.
No, it's nobody's fault, bro.
No, it's just something like there's so many interesting topics and people have comments on things. So I was just saying it's like you throw a tennis ball for a dog and he's like runs after it and he goes and gets it and brings it right back to you. I'm just saying that sometimes if someone brings up one topic, it's like the ball was thrown and then everyone's like that's like where the analogy is like we're the Labrador running after it. It's not a bad thing. It's just like one topic can spark a whole thing, and sometimes that's cool because someone says one thing and then it sparks a whole string, but there's other times where, like, if we want to stay on a particular topic, we need to kind of keep the old what's the topic, kind of bring it back and kind of keep it. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
How about that announcement, that public induction as a Master Mason by Joe Biden?
I didn't hear that regarding Joe Biden. What was that, if you don't mind? Thank you.
His public induction as a Master Mason.
Oh, wow.
A couple days ago.
33rd degree?
Yeah, he did his job.
No, not 33rd.
Okay, just a master. Okay.
Mason.
They have it
under some. I can't remember which branch it was out of, but yeah.
Interesting. They have each degree has a title. I remember seeing the 32nd degree. It's called the Sublime Prince of the Royal Secret. And I looked up what the Royal Secret was according to according to the Freemasons of that particular. They said love was the royal secret, but I have a feeling there's another secret. Go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think that maybe he was given that after the last 4 years of him acting like he was going senile, and it was just an act for him to get like accreditation to get to the next rank or something? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like
I mean, that is from what we understand how they work.
Yeah, that's how they work. They got to do stuff.
That was like his humiliation ritual.
For 4 years, dude, he was getting humiliated, but it was all worth it. Now he got the rank, and dude, he looked very like lucid, like when he was talking. Like now, like you can even tell, dude, he has problems.
Yeah, he actually did better than I thought he was going to do in the debate against Trump. It was still revealing, but he did a lot better than I thought he was going to do.
I mean, there is that video of him back a few years ago saying it would be coincidental if he developed some brain disease.
How about the fact that there's two of them, a tall one and the regular one? What do you guys make of that?
6-inch Joe.
You see, I don't know how true that is, but there's one that looks really tall, and you see him in pictures. He's taller than his wife, like by a lot. Now I don't know, it's a conspiracy theory, but they say there's two of them, tall Joe and the regular Joe.
Also, like along the lines of him acting, there's a video of him. It looks like inside of some congressional hearing or something. It's afterwards. Looks like everyone's mingling. And he's talking about the blue roofs and how they didn't burn. And we need to look into that. And he says that statement and he says it in that like bewildered, really spaced out voice, but then at the end he's like, anyways, and it almost looks like he goes back to his regular self as if it was just satire, like he knew that camera was running and he was saying it, and then he just throws that anyway in there as if he's like, yeah, this is what they want to hear. Go look at that clip. It's really odd, the very end of it, how he just seems to be staring off into space with his jaw open. And then he's like, anyway, as if it's like really sarcastic. I don't know. It's kind of odd.
Yo, Jeremy, you still there? What were you going to bring up, bro? Is it even worth it? Probably. All right.
My bad,
Probably
Jeremy. Not many
involves a
things are
shovel
as
and a lot of
buzzworthy
digging.
as Masons.
So, you guys heard about the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn? I brought it up earlier a little bit, but like the thing is, like I'm not really familiar with it, and like I know about the Rosicrucian, Mason, Jesuits, but there's a lot about this Hermetic Order, dude, that I wasn't aware of, and it's like it's supposed to be like some of the highest of the highest, dude, like Rosicrucian stuff.
Yeah, have you seen heliosorcery by chance? They touch the surface of that a little bit. The origins of that.
I seen the documentary. It's been floating around. It's been shared, and I think I seen it. Yeah, I did see it, but I don't remember anything.
Okay, yeah, I've watched it probably like 5-6 times. There's lots of great points, but yeah, they cover in the origin of Gnosticism, and then they touch a little bit about the Reformation. Great documentary.
Yeah, I'll watch it again this weekend.
I think it'll be worth your time, definitely.
So I do believe in the age of Aquarius and a golden dawn, but it's not. Trump ain't gonna be the one leading it. That's all I'm saying.